Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, as I've helped you learn, the Book of Mormon was trying to inform us that our exodus from the Great and Abominable Church was supposed to be in 2020. And Mormons missed it. They rebelled. Bednar has now been immortalized in infamy with his plagiarized explanation. But yeah, the parable that he's talking about applies. And so with every harvest, there is a second harvest to catch the strands of grain that still grow up before the winter comes in. And oftentimes a second harvest is involved. And that does seem to apply here, as you are given not only a second chance for an exodus, you're also given a second election, which the Book of Mormon likewise talks about the two elections in prophecy for the latter days. Because the Book of Mormon, if I have to repeat everything, I will not be able to get everything in, is learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians. But the learning of the Jews is of the Israelites prior to the conquest of Babylon, because Lehi and Ishmael were Ephraim and Manasseh descendants or family groups, so they weren't actual Jews. And Joseph Smith Sr. was a new Israelite in Nathaniel Wood's New Israelites in Vermont, but he didn't become a member. That's important to understand. He was too far away to attend church regularly, but he clearly learned Kabbalah through him. And that's why we have the Tree of Life, and why he had Tree of Life dreams, etc. And other indicators of this from the rewritten 116 pages, as I've explained to you what all that was. And in the Hebrew calendar, we have Election Day upon us on Tuesday the 8th. We are having the final lunar eclipse that morning of the tetrad for the latter days. The sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. They're all combined because it's all part of the same sign. It's a tetrad, a similar one to the Jewish connected tetrad in 2014-2015. As I've further explained beyond astronomy, that these specific tetrads have solar eclipses and lunar eclipses and stars falling from the heavens, all part of the sign. And so when the scriptures say in the last days the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven, it's referring to the tetrad. And so 2014-2015 was the preparatory tetrad warning of the latter days coming. And I've gone over those videos with you as well. And so this is the end of that particular sign. It is Election Day morning, when America goes to the polls to cause a civil war, to divide America into the two groups, two political groups, fascists, and segregationists. Yay, what a choice we have. And segregationists, because of LGBTQIAPO+, because in this shelter, for example, there's a horrifying scene that triggers what was done in the South, as blacks were given their separate bathrooms, separate drinking fountains. Downstairs, they have a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom next to it, and then a sign on the men's door side is gender-neutral bathroom on the second floor. Yeah, segregationalist. That's why liberals are segregationists. And I've warned of the dangers to all groups of humans. But this is dealing with Mormons and rescuing them from the Great and Abominable Church. And if I have to go over it, if Mormons are completely and utterly clueless to the blatantly outward appearance obviousness, it's on you. You can't hide in a bubble and just wish it away. You can't have a spiritual feeling to deny truth, to deny reality. It's carved in stone on the keystone of the Salt Lake Temple. And I've gone over the history with you as well as to why Brigham Young put it there and what he was a part of. Thus the Great and Abominable Church. And so, in the Hebrew calendar, it's the month of Cheshvan, oftentimes Mar Cheshvan, and there's some confusion as to the meaning. Babylonian. So, but the Mar, they speculate, is for the word bitter in Hebrew, which has to do with no festivals or any kind of holy days in this month. It's the 8th civil calendar month and the 2nd religious calendar month. Right? Did I get that right? Nope, I got it wrong. 8th month religious month. 2nd civil. And where were we? I lost where. Maybe we're. Oh yeah, Hebrew calendar. And so election day is on the 8th in the Hebrew calendar. I use cgsf.org because it puts the two calendars side by side and then has color coding for the feasts and festivals, and then down at the bottom is the key to explain them for you. That's perfect, exactly what I was looking for. And you can even do a copy and paste onto a Word program, and it perfectly aligns it for you. You just have to type in the name of the file so that you can identify it. But you have the 14th of Cheshvan, Mar Cheshvan, which ends the tetrad with the lunar eclipse that morning. On the 15th, the day after the name of the movie of a nuclear holocaust in America. It was a made-for-TV movie. We start in the Israelite calendar. This is important because now we're going back into the mythology of the Israelites, because archaeologists cannot confirm that Israel had Jeroboam. Jeroboam. This is most likely the and we should probably bring that up on the screen for you. Or I should bring it up on the screen for me. So I can see how it's spelled. Okay, so Rabbi, Yah is Lord. Yeah, it's got the guttural sun symbol. Okay. Yeah. Lord of the people. Yeah. And so Yah is Lord of the people. This is the meaning of Jeroboam. And the first king of northern Israel. After the death of Solomon, according to the lore, the kingdom was split between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, his sons. And the northern kingdom is Jeroboam. And so he established what is known as Sukkot, the Feast of Ingathering or Tabernacles. And we had it already with the Jews. That was back in October 10th through the 17th. And for Israelites, Jeroboam established it for the Israelites on the 15th. And I'm not getting the idea that they did it starting the days at 6 p.m. So we'll just say the 15th rather than the 14th at 6 p.m. That seems to be more of a Jewish thing after the captivity of Babylon. And so I get this from the month of Shivan, or Cheshvan, Mar Cheshvan in Jewish history and tradition. The 15th, King Jeroboam's alternative feast of Sukkot for the people of the northern kingdom, and references 1 Kings 12, 32 to 33. So 1 Kings, similar to 1 Nephi. Just to let you know, it starts off with the gathering of Israel, because that's what it's referring to. And so we, as Mormons, are Israelites rather than Jews, but Jews are often used as code in the Book of Mormon for us by Joseph Smith. And so, yeah, the great gathering that the scriptures that I've been going over with you talks about, as the man like Moses has the keys of the gathering of Israel. And this is that event. And so, what is going to happen then? Well, we already know what the enemy is already doing and will escalate, especially on election day, to make sure that all their candidates are in. But, hold on a minute. Alright, so, Jeroboam, the sun symbol with the M at the end for people, is actually the sun symbol with the high priest symbol. And so the high priest of the sun, so the kingdom of high priests. So just in case you're curious of how I was able to figure that one out, but only those on Amazon and academia care about my Paleo Hebrew work. YouTube doesn't give a damn. And so, let's see. Yeah, there's. Yeah, and the Exodus is for going to Zion, if that wasn't obvious already, to build the temple. We're in bondage, just like the Jews in Babylon. King Cyrus frees them and gives the order, edict, you can go back and build your temple, rebuild your temple. And then they have problems with the Samaritans. chaos ensues, war begins, angry feelings that last a lifetime ensues, but the temple gets built and then is destroyed again under the Romans. But yeah, that's the whole intention behind it, is that Mormons are supposed to come out of the great and abominable church, come out of Babylon, and go to Zion and build the temple, set in order the temple from the one mighty and strong, which is the same character, because it uses the same lingo as the prophecy, and thus rebuild the Zion temple. But with such rebellion in the church, it's going to require a massive destruction of the great and abominable church, the fall, as prophesied, in order for Mormons to wake up and go, holy crap, this church isn't true. We were lied to our whole lives. Does this actually mean Travis was right? I wanted to scream at Exmo Lex in her video that I saw. She did a few days ago, about the exploitation of tithing. And she was not catching on that what she was talking about, reading from past prophets and apostles, is that the church, by using tithing, are committing a protection racket. That's what it is. It's a protection racket. It turns, as I've been telling you, which the church has been pissed with each time I do, it turns regular marriage into sex trafficking. Because now you're forcing the couple to pay up in order to go to the temple to get married. Because if you were to just do it a civil marriage through your bishop, you don't pay anything. It's free. And yet the church requires payment on top of all else. And that's criminal. And she even quoted that it's a debt we owe to God. Well, what is a debt? It's a ransom money, which is also a black want it for all the years, and the American Native Indians have got it already. Reparations. It's atonement. Mormons atone to Jesus, even though it goes to the church and the church hoards it, for his atonement for us. That it's supposed to be free. Temple's supposed to be free. Come buy and eat without money and without price. That's referring to the temple from Isaiah. And so, we are in bondage. And so when Nelson gets up and says, yoke yourself to Jesus, and talks about binding, I was just screaming in my head, why can't Mormons catch on to what he's saying? And I do the video clip for you, and you still don't believe. You're in open rebellion against the truth. So frustrating. So, but it looks like you guys get a second chance to repent. Stop your rebellion. But it requires the fall of the great and abominable church. Without the fall, there can be no exodus. Mormons are too hard-hearted and stubborn. They will not leave. They have to be compelled to believe, because they will not search the scriptures themselves, study, because the church has told them not to study. The church has told you that all you have to do is get a spiritual witness, and that's all you need. You don't need to know the meanings of the words. You don't need to produce the fruit to establish what the truth is. Just get a spiritual witness and you're good to go. Just make sure you pay your tithing. Yeah, so here we go again. And we know that they will divide America. It's already been divided. But from the chaos in the Civil War, somehow the church is going to fall, hopefully. There's some things that have been happening in my personal life that have set up for it. And with the trumpet of the earthquake by St. Joseph Smith in Northern California, the birth nativity of the Mormon mortal man like Moses. Did the video, nobody cared. Again, warning Mormons. And so you're given the warnings, and yeah, so yeah, it has to be something huge in order for the prophecies to come true, because the prophecies themselves says we're no longer going to be talking about Moses' exodus, we're going to be talking about this latter day Moses and his exodus, because it's going to be a big event. And so far it is, yeah, in order to fulfill it completely, we're looking for something coming up very soon, because the United States is going to be under attack, and we've got climate change in the midst of it. And so next year is the bicentennial year of Joseph Smith's explanation of the day that shall burn as an oven, and explaining who our Christ is. Gotta watch the videos. So hang on, hold on, make sure you're sharing my videos, guys. Let other people know, let Mormons know, let ex-Mormons know, let everybody who will listen know, because this is not a time for rebellion and anger and hatred and whatever it is to be anti-New Israelite. Anti-Semitism only because of their wrongfully being incarcerated by Babylon, or Egyptian. Anti-Hamida, we'll call it then, for Ham, who represents Egypt.